This is Marie from Underground Crafter, and today I'm sharing a review of Nelsonwood crochet hooks. Thank you to Brian Nelson for providing me with the hooks used in this video review. These hooks are handcrafted by Brian Nelson, and each one comes in a case. It will list the type of hook and the size on the top. And then when you open the case, there will also be a tag that lists the type of hook and the size as well. I've been using Nelsonwood crochet hooks since 2015, and I have to say they're some of my favorites. Let me tell you what I love about them, and then I'll show you how I crochet with them. First of all, they're just stunning to look at. Even the simpler designs are very gorgeous. They are beautiful pieces of art in addition to being functional crochet tools. If you crochet a lot, I find that the thicker handle is very comfortable on my hand. It helps relieve hand strain. I especially love using my two smaller ones. I have a G hook and an H hook. And I use these when I'm crocheting amigurumi so that my hands don't get hurt from making such tight stitches. It also has a very smooth finish. Some handmade wooden hooks are not finished and they can catch on yarn, especially cotton yarn. I've never had that problem with the Nelsonwood hooks. They're very fine and smooth, which is great because you can do wonderful stitches and you don't have to worry about it snagging on your yarn. So I'm going to show you the Nelsonwood crochet hook in action. As you can see, it glides really smoothly with the yarn. I've found that it works pretty well for most types of stitches. The only times I've had a problem, I would say, is if I was doing a bullion stitch, and I wouldn't normally use a hook of this shape for a bullion stitch. But as you can see, I'll move my hand over a little, you can see that part of the hook extends beyond the hand, and that you can rest your, if you do a knife grip, you can rest your thumb on this larger piece, and that it basically keeps you from having a tight grip. If you do a pencil grip, which I don't normally do, so I'm not very expert in it, you can also use the thicker piece of the hook. Again, what I like is that it's really smooth. Now, normally I prefer a tapered hook, and this is what's called an inline hook, meaning that the shape of the hook is the same width throughout this throat piece. However, I have not ever had the issues that I have with other inline hooks with the Nelsonwood hooks. And as I said, they're some of my favorite hooks. So I think it just has to do with the fact that it's a very good design. Since I'd like this to be a balanced review, let me share some of the challenges that I think crocheters may have with the Nelsonwood hooks. Anytime you use a hook that is a different shape than what you're used to, it takes some time to adjust. Personally, I've never had any pain or discomfort using these hooks, even when I first started using them. However, when I very first started using them, it took a little while to figure out where exactly should I place my fingers, and that's why I'm sort of moving them up and down so you can see what I'm talking about. If you're new to ergonomic hooks, you may have the same issue, so I would say try to crochet your most favorite stitch. For me, that's the half double crochet, and see where your hands naturally would fall. That gives you a good sign that that is kind of a good positioning. The other challenge crocheters may have with the Nelsonwood hooks is that he doesn't list the size on the hook itself. As I showed you, it comes in a really nice package, and the package lists the size, and there's a little tag that lists the size, but the hook itself doesn't list the size, and so it can be a little confusing if your hook gets separated and you have more than one Nelsonwood hook to figure out what size you have. My solution to that is to have each size be a different type of hook from Nelsonwood. This one is Alder Cone in Turquoise Snow. This one is Walnut Shell in Midnight Black, and those are actual walnut shells. This is the Black Cat hook, and this is, I don't recall what wood this is. This is actually the first one I got, but it's more of a standard hook. So that helps me remember the different sizes. Now Brian does have the option on his website, if you'd like, to get the letter engraved into your hook. So in the newer hooks, you can have the option here. It says it's a J, and on this you can see it's an H. It'll be the letter size in American sizing, and so that is an option that you can get. There's no additional charge. It's not the default though. You do have to ask for it if you'd like to see the hook size directly on the hook. You can also use a tool like the tools that you use to measure crochet hook widths, like a knit check. You can also use that to find out the correct size. So that's another option. I hope my hook review has helped you decide whether Nelsonwood crochet hooks are for you. I have to say I love them. One of the questions I often hear crocheters ask is, why should I spend more than a couple of dollars on a hook? The hook is really what is going to help your hands actually keep comfortable. So having a more expensive hook that you will use over and over, you know, hours and hours and hours a year, if you think about it, the cost is worth it. So I would say if there is one of Brian's hooks that you love and you can afford, to go for it, because you'll have hundreds and thousands of hours of crocheting with it, and your hands will be comfortable and ready to keep going. So if you have any questions about Nelsonwood crochet hooks, let me know and I'd be happy to answer them.